All right, shalom, Most High in Christ, bless, happy Sabbath to everybody tuning in. All praises to the Most High in Christ. Of course, we made it to another Sabbath. All praises to the Most High. That's something to be glad about, especially in these day and age. You got the resurgence of viruses and all kind of stuff hitting our people. You have a lot of different things happening, even within the so-called ghettos and everything else. I tell you one thing, we was riding today, we was just talking about it, and you can see the anxiety on a lot of people, and especially the young people. They're carrying Tech 9s, AR-15s, just in the streets. I mean, and, it comes from a place where people are just uncertain, and stimulus checks and all kind of stuff. People are so much in a state of mind, wondering what's going to happen. And let me say this. If you continue to wonder what this man is going to do, you should definitely looking at the Bible to understand what the Most High is going to do. If you are paying more attention to the Trump administration, to the news on the pandemic and everything, and you're not looking at the Bible, guess what? You're in error. All right, you should be paying 100. The Bible has all the information in it. It's the exact thing that's going on right now. All right, and so tonight's topic, we know because we got the 4th of July. Every year somebody gonna die. Most High gonna put a lot of folks to death every year. It happens.
We always give our brothers and sisters a fair warning. We always give them the public announcement. Tuck in, stay clear away from this man's foolishness, because that's basically what it is.
If you got cousins, your cousin is known as the fireman.
Mm-hmm.
He wear a fireman jacket and he pops fireworks.
Mm-hmm.
Stay away from him. Do not go there. If they invite you, we just gonna do hot dogs on the grill, and just hang out as family. It's not 4th of July. We just hanging out as family.
Right.
Stay away. Somebody, it happens all the time. Somebody, if they go, you know what, I'm gonna shoot, Grandpa's old gun off for the 4th of July. Somebody gonna get killed.
Yep.
All of these things is happening because of disobedience. But you have to realize the day and age and the time frame that we're living in is the greatest time known to man, and we have to make sure that we are doing exactly and following exact orders of the Most High. All right? So all the people who hate what we're saying, they're the ones that's evil. They're in league with whatever this man tells them. They follow that 100%. All right? But the point is, they don't never speak evil. You got to think about it. Are they going around speaking evil of what's going on? No. But they will consistently go around and speak evil when you tell them, hey, come out of this madness, come back to following the Most High.
Because what they'll do, they'll say, y'all separatists. Y'all want to divide, like y'all are really doing the same thing. I realize that the Most High is a separatist. He come out of her, my people. So it's just a shame.
I mean, this is for us. Y'all folks got to realize something. From saying this, imagine you saying something over and over and over, year after year, and 5 years pass, 10 years pass, and you keep saying it over and over again, and people just ignoring it, and then you start to see the Most High start to move. Do you know what that does inside of a person? You start to get excited. You're like, oh man, we all praises to the Most High. So the things are happening, all right, in regards to our people, in regards to the world. And now you have something called Independence Day, 4th of July, that people are going to celebrate the independence. Give me a Google real quick before we get, give me a Google. Tonight's topic, if you folks don't understand, is the real independence. The real Independence Day. The real Independence Day. All right. What's crazy is that people will want statues and everything taken down of the same men who was sitting in the room, so-called signing the Declaration of Independence a month earlier. So why are you celebrating July 4th anyway? So a lot of people starting to put around, and there's a lot of other talks happening in regards to what should be. A lot of our people are coming out of the madness, just to be honest. And what that means for the world and what that means for America, that's a sign of trouble. I'm going to say, let me slow down. The world, as you know it, and America, there are signs of trouble right now. The reason why is God's chosen people, which is you so-called blacks and Hispanics, Hispanic natives, whose fathers of Negro and Indian descent. The biblical Israelites are starting to wake up, all right? And yes, the bulk of them are in the Americas, but of course we're scattered across the four corners of the earth. But you ignorant folks out there who don't understand biblical prophecy, who I don't agree with they call it a chart. I don't agree with it. Just go sit down. How could you ever know that you're an Israelite? Number one, how could you ever know without prophecy? But somehow you blank on that. So write this down in your notes, because we will go over this topic, and it's pretty instant. It's a topic that we're going to take our time, and we're going to go through each and every tribe. But you have to understand in the birth, you have to understand the prophecy, and you have to understand the blessing. You have to understand history. So if you are just learning the Bible, how are you going to put all that together? You just started picking up the book 4 years ago. Come on, man. Leave it for the people who the Lord opened up and had an understanding and said, hey, let's sit around and look at this and pull all these artifacts and show you why we're saying what we're saying. All right. But we are the children of the slaves, and the bulk of us are trapped here in the Americas, period. All right. So, boy, I'll tell you one thing. Give me independence. Google it. This is funny right here. Watch this. Independence. Go ahead on and play him.
Independence.
Uh-huh. When it's a noun, the woman does it. If it's a verb, the man does it.
Really?
Yeah. Let's see. The fact or state of being independent. All right. Let's get some words out of there. Drop down the tab. So you celebrating Independence Day? Do you have a self-government? No, you do not. Self-rule? No, you do not. Home rule? You're not even in your homeland. Self-determination? What does that say? Sovereignty. Give me that word, sovereignty. So they put sovereignty in there. Self-reliant. And we rating on the stimulus checks? All right. Sovereignty. Let's play that. It's another noun.
Sovereignty.
Mm-hmm. All right. Supreme power or authority. Do you have that?
Oh, people claim it.
How are you claiming independence? Do you have supreme power or authority? Can you tell this government to take away something? Can you tell this government to let the so-called black and natives go back to their homeland? What's that say? Supremacy? Jurisdiction, dominion, power. Yeah, if you claim it's sovereignty, that's just whole false madness. Come on, y'all. So we put this up there to show y'all some things, because words mean a lot. And if you celebrating independence, but you don't have supreme power or authority to do anything, and you don't have you can't govern anything, You don't have dominion. So what is it that you are actually doing? It's complete madness. But as you see in the topic, the real Independence Day, will the Negroes and natives get taken away from America? Will the Negroes and natives get taken away from America? So if you call yourself spiritual, if you're a holy roller, tag them. We want you to answer this question. Because somebody in their minds might think America going to go on forever. Yep. They do. Trump stood up there and said, you know, for the next 500 years, we want to have 4th of July. Wow. Yeah, a lot of pride. So, bear with us tonight. Let's open up with the book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 21. We're going to take it a little slow.
All right. Shalom, Most High in Christ, bless, happy Sabbath to all. The book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 21. Be of good cheer, O my children.
Be of good cheer, O my children. Okay. The children is representing the Israelites. The end. Not talking about everybody. Why? Come on, let's read on.
Cry unto the Lord.
Come on.
And he shall deliver you from the power and hand of the enemies.
So now I'm talking to everybody who was tagged on the video. If you're tagged on this video and you believe that you have zero enemies, or you believe that you live in in America or wherever you're at, and you have zero enemies, zero. And I'm talking about for as a government standpoint. Do you believe that the government is trying to help you as a friend, or do you believe that the government is really an enemy to our people? All right. Put that down. I mean, we're talking to the folks that are tagged. If you think that the government is a friend, they're helping you or helping our people, group us all together, or you believe that, somehow the government is just going to be doing, what they supposed to be doing it because people voted on it or whatever. Are they a friend or are they a foe to our people? Read it again.
The book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 21. Be of good cheer, O my children.
Come on.
Cry unto the Lord.
Come on.
And he shall deliver you from the power and hand of the enemies.
So, okay. And that was plural, wasn't it? Okay, come on.
Verse 22. For my hope is in the everlasting, that he will save you. And joy is coming to me from the Holy One.
Come on.
Because of the mercy.
The Holy One is Christ. Come on.
Which shall soon come unto you from the everlasting our Savior.
So, Israel in the midst of sin, but it's already prophesied in this good book that we were going to receive mercy. We're going to receive mercy. There's a certain amount, we're going to read it, that will receive mercy, period. All right. Put it in the comment boards. If you know, don't put it in there. But if you don't know, take your shot. All right. What is that amount? And what is the amount called? What is it called, that amount? All right. If you're confused, then just continue to watch. Read on.
Verse 23. For I sent you out with mourning and weeping.
So the Most High have sent us out with mourning and weeping. We have been, when you read the Bible, you only have 80 years in this book that our people, the Israelites, only 80 years without being in supreme subjection unto the other nations. You had 40 underneath David and 40 underneath Solomon. The end. Every step of the way in this book, we have been falling to the other nations. We've been following the other nations. We've been in line with them, in league with them. We lied, cheated, stole, been in idolatry, been in the midst of their holidays, their days that they celebrate pagan ideologies. We've been in the midst of those all through this book, and the Most High puts us and ceases us into captivity behind it. So only 80 years. Only 80 years. All right? Every other portion of this book, we have been in servitude to the other nations. Read on.
The book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 23. For I sent you out with mourning and weeping, but God will give you to me again.
Come on.
With joy and gladness forever.
So we're given to Christ. And it says that joy and gladness forever. Joy and gladness forever. We can't even comprehend what that means. We can only read the words of this book, which gives us comfort to understand. Wait a minute. You mean to tell me the people that died, I can possibly have a chance to see them again and receive them within joy and gladness? Your loved ones? Because somebody might be ignorant. When you're talking about joy and gladness, it's not talking about money. It's an easy thing. We're going to read it. The most I could make somebody rich. It's nothing.
Right.
You're talking about your loved ones. It's talking about you living in peace and harmony, seeing your bricks put in to a kingdom that is yours, to a rulership, a sovereignty that is yours, which you have a voice. You understand righteousness, and you understand that it's being built on righteousness. You can't say that about this place. You have an illusion. Yeah. Oh, you go vote. That's your voice. Excuse me? No. Read on.
The book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 24. Neighbors of Zion have seen your captivity.
So we read this over and over again. They see now captivity. All the nations understood that. You see it now.
Yep.
The uprising is happening where they're saying Black Lives Matter in New Zealand, Black Lives Matter in China, Black Lives Matter in Iraq. All the places, Malaysia, Europe, all the places, Africa, South America, Hawaii, everybody putting up Black Lives Matter. You don't realize what's going on. First of all, that's a political movement, spawned by an agenda to put plights together from somebody that might be homosexual, transgender, and everything, and you put that plight mixed in what happened to us in slavery. Are they out of their minds? Are they crazy? You will never be able 100 million on one side, 77 million on the other. You will never be able to put that plight together. What that is a slap in the face.
Exactly. That's a smack in the face.
How you going to put Black Lives Matter and attach it to anybody else? Which just doesn't make sense. And it shows you how the mind of a political person works. They want to stay in this system. Yep. They want a voice in the system. That's why it's going forward. But it is no type of voice, because this system is already prophesied to do what it's supposed to do, which is grind our people to powder. All right? So you can never, no type of organization, no type of group could never measure up to what happened to our people. And guess what? If you're sitting here and you are a child of the slaves and you're watching this program, that means that your foreparents who went through slavery was stronger than anybody on the face of the earth. In order for you to make it through this. And the Most High allowed that strength within them. Can you imagine what they've seen? And the Most High allowed that strength and gave them that fortitude to go through that. Some of y'all can't even, if your air conditioner go out, you think you dying.
Right.
Somebody, if you think you got to walk to the little corner store, you think you dying.
Oh, my God, I can't believe I'm going through this. Meanwhile, your forefathers, our foremothers, was catching literally hell picking tobacco when it's 110 degrees outside. Tobacco bugs bite you.
Somebody got a flat tire talking about, am I judged?
Right.
I mean, come on, man. The thing is, slavery cannot be compared. What happened to our people, so it's biblically. It was done that way purposely because the Most High said, nah, this is going to be for a sign and for a wonder for us forever. That's on us forever. The best we can hope that this is going to be like a dream. The scripture says it's going to be like we're going to be as them that dreamed. That's the best we can hope for, but it's going to be reality for breaking the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments. All right? Read it from the top.
The book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 24. Like as now the neighbors of Zion have seen your captivity.
Come on.
So shall they see shortly your salvation.
So they got to see our salvation because they saw and witnessed and stood by while millions of people were being taken and did nothing. Nobody went, you know what? If y'all take another person, we're going to go to war. Exactly. But they'll go to war for money.
Exactly.
They'll go to war for commodities. They'll go to war for trade. But they never went for war to say, if you take another one of those people, you were going to have a problem. So those neighbors that did that, although they're holding up signs, it's the other nations, they got to see our salvation. And they're going to see something that no one has ever seen in the history of mankind, period, according to this book. We'll get to it. Lord's will. Read it again.
The book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 24. Like as now the neighbors of Zion have seen your captivity, so shall they see shortly your salvation.
Come on.
From our God.
Come on.
Which shall come upon you with great glory.
So when it says come upon us with great glory, you can't escape the facts of how the Most High is going to save Israel. It's a specific way, and it's something that has to happen according to God's words. All right, come on.
Brightness of the everlasting.
It's going to come on like brightness of the everlasting. Underline that word, brightness. Brightness. All right, come on.
Verse 25. My children, suffer patiently the wrath that is come upon you from God. For thine enemy have persecuted thee.
Come on.
But shortly thou shalt see his destruction.
Shortly you're going to see his destruction. Come on.
And shalt tread upon his neck.
And shall tread upon his neck. That everybody doing the George Floyd, you know, but the Lord said we're going to tread upon their necks. You got to understand that. Now, it might sound harsh to a lot of you new ones. It might sound like, oh, wow, what is this? We got Christ. You're not thinking right now because who's saying this is the Lord. Read on.
Verse 26. My delicate ones have gone rough ways.
Come on.
And were taken away as a flock caught of the enemy.
So this goes to show us something. Because you had people who was keeping commandments, but because the whole nation has to play a part, you got to go. Look at Daniel.
Ezra.
Right.
2 captivities.
Exactly. So you had this. Come on.
Verse 27. Be of good comfort, O my children.
Come on.
And cry unto God.
And cry unto the Most High. So if you are not asking the Lord to deliver us from the hands of the enemy, you don't realize we are a people. We supposed to have our own land. The Lord likened us to the Ethiopians. Dark race, own land, own language, self-governance. Now you see what's happening in Ethiopia now. They done brung democracy over there. They killed somebody. Is a lot of, look that up. Look that up real quick. In Ethiopia right now, it's chaos going on because of politics, democracy. Read it again.
The book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 27. Be of good comfort, O my children, and cry unto God, for ye shall be remembered of him that brought these things upon you.
The Most High brung it upon us. He say, gonna remember. Oh, wait a minute. Nah, this is the stipulation. They just got to go through this particular time. The Lord said this is this has been small. This is a small time that he forsaken us. It's a small moment to the Most High. Yet, you know, it's been 2,000 plus years. But you're not going to fathom the Most High's time. Okay? No, it's another video from Ethiopia. It's another video. There's actually an uprising going on in there. You got to go to like YouTube or something. Now, Isaiah chapter 45. Let's go there. And start at verse. All I want is 11 through 13.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 45 and verse 11. Thus saith the Lord, the Holy One of Israel.
We keep hearing that. We keep hearing the Holy One. Come on.
And his maker. Ask me of things to come concerning my sons.
What does it mean, the Holy One of Israel and his maker? Thus saith the Lord, the Holy One of Israel and his maker. Come on.
And concerning the work of my hands, command ye me.
Ask me of the things to come concerning my sons. Ask me the things that come concerning my sons, and concerning the work of my hands, command ye me. So the world is going to be in uproar. All kind of things is going to happen. It has to happen. It has to. All right. Because it's thus saith the Lord. All right. Yeah, you can show that. You can show that. This is Ethiopia. And the Lord said they was going to taste the sword anyway. But the point is, this shows us, y'all, what is wrong with politics. All right. Go ahead, run it for him real quick. This show you exactly what's wrong with politics. Look at that. Now they in an uproar.
Thousands took to the streets of Addis Ababa on Tuesday to escort the body of a murdered singer to his hometown. Hachalu Hundessa, a popular musician known for his political protest songs, was killed on Monday night.
Stop. Known for his political protest songs. See, you brothers, man, and especially, you know, if y'all are in Israel, you're a watchman. You seeing everything, and you looking at everything spiritual, and you're looking at things that's happening biblically. All right. Why is this uproar? I told you he was politics. We done did so many topics on politics. Politics is in the Bible. And it shows you that it brings about evil. All right, play it.
That's enraged youths who burned tires in the capital and took to the streets in other cities.
Can you hear it?
Unrest spreading through the heartlands of homes that had the armed support.
Pause it. Can they hear it? Hang on, y'all. We're going to rewind it for you. Hang on, y'all. Hang on. We know the volume is low. We just trying to figure out what's going on. We are live, folks. We are live. Yeah, try to rewind it and play it for him again.
Thousands took to the streets of Addis Ababa on Tuesday to escort the body of a murdered singer to his hometown. Hachalu Hundessa, a popular musician known for his political protest songs, was killed on Monday night. That's enraged youths who burned ties in the capital and took to the streets in other cities. Unrest spreading through the heartlands of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's support. Hachalu's music was the soundtrack to a movement that brought Abiy to power, and he has appealed for calm. While Abiy's rule has ushered in greater political and economic freedoms, it's also led to an increase in unrest in a country made up of more than 80 ethnic groups.
Yep.
A
That's low.
opponent of Abiy, media tycoon Jawar Mohammed, was arrested on Tuesday, a TV station he owned said, after his bodyguards refused to disarm. Jawar has spearheaded a backlash against Abiy's determination to forge a pan-Ethiopian
Stop.
policy.
I don't know why it's not playing for y'all, but the point of this video is that even in Ethiopia, they're going through turmoil because politics. You know, it's an illusion, and what it has done is poison a lot of people's minds. A lot of people's minds is poison. All right. Now I don't know what's going on with the channel, but anyway, go back to Isaiah. We'll put the link up for y'all. I don't know why it's not playing. Yep.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 45 and verse 11.
Come on.
Thus saith the Lord, the Holy One of Israel, and his Maker, ask me of things to come concerning my sons, and concerning the work of my hands command ye me.
Come on.
Verse 12. I have made the earth, and created man upon it. I, even my hands, have stretched out the heavens, and all their hosts have I commanded.
So you're not going to be able to turn nothing. The Lord said he's the one, you know, doing the things concerning his sons. The Lord is getting Israel together. And the way that we're getting together is we're seeing now politics, following the other nations, never profited. It took us all this time. Christ came, separated himself from the Roman politics. Told them, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. Separated himself from it completely. Only taught the Israelites how to follow the Most High and how to live in a setup that is contrary to the Most High. And we still 2,000 plus years now passing on. We still not figuring it out. All right. We're just at the cusp right now where everyone is starting to understand, oh, wait a minute, we are God's chosen people. Here go the prideful ones. I already knew we was God's chosen people already. I already knew that. Yeah, I already knew Christ was black. I already knew that. When every time I hear somebody get that, say, well, did you know to keep commandments? Well, see, my brother, you know, commandments is what? Shut up. Read on.
Verse 13. I have raised him up in righteousness.
Come on.
And I will direct all his ways.
Direct all his ways. Come on.
He shall build my city.
Come on.
And he shall let go my captives.
Come on.
Not for price nor reward, saith the Lord of hosts.
You see, so first of all, in order for us to be able to build, the Lord has to direct our ways. That means you have to know how to build according to thus saith the Lord. You can't just, you know what? Yeah, you know, we gonna do it like this.
Yep. Because we're gonna build like the so-called white man. Because we think his way is successful.
They will 100%. I always ask brothers, if I take you and move you to your own land and everything else, what you gonna build? America? You trying to escape a place, but you gonna build the same place that you're escaping from?
You're gonna build an exact replica.
It makes no sense.
You're gonna have the black house where they had.
Simple. Yeah, the Bible calls us simple ones.
Right.
All right. Read it again.
The book of Isaiah,
Unbelievable.
chapter 45, verse 13. I have raised him up in righteousness.
You know what's funny? Go to since you said that, go to Ecclesiasticus chapter 11 and verse 21. Ecclesiasticus chapter 11 and verse 21. It's sad. It's sad because people will be doing fireworks and doing the 4th of July and all kind of stuff.
All right. You want 11:21?
Yep.
Okay. The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 11 and verse 21. Marvel not at the works of sinners, but trust in the Lord and abide in thy labor. For it is an easy thing in the sight of the Lord on the sudden to make a poor man rich.
We said that. We just said, wait, you gotta read it again for them. They ain't believing.
Okay. Ecclesiasticus chapter 11 verse 21. Marvel not at the works of sinners, but trust in the Lord and abide in thy labor. For it is an easy thing in the sight of the Lord on the sudden to make a poor man rich.
So you folk, everybody talking about they want money and stuff. You gotta ask us, what are you talking about? The Lord is the one that can make. It's nothing for him
Right.
to turn a poor man rich. But you can't continually to follow and marvel at the works of sinners. That's why we saying, what you gonna build?
Right.
Everything they out there, they gonna have statues there. They gonna want statues.
They're going to make Juneteenth the new Independence Day.
Yeah.
And start shooting fireworks. They're going to reenact everything. We're going to do everything that this man does and model after him and call that success. Sad.
Read on.
Verse 22. The blessing of the Lord is in the reward of the godly.
It's in the reward of the godly. Come on.
And suddenly he maketh his blessing to flourish. Say not, what profit is there of my service? And what good things should I have hereafter?
That's a lot of, that's what people think.
Yep.
And you keep saying that, okay, well, I'm going to serve the Lord, but what I'm going to get? Instead of understanding, you know what? We have a maker. We're creatures. Yep. We got to do exactly how he said that we should be. Nah, they think it's religion. They think it's the white man's ideology. Everything but, wait a minute, let's try keeping the commandments and see if the sky going to crack open.
I know that's right.
How about that? Let's put the challenge out. You want to see the sky crack open. You want to see if the Bible is real.
Right.
If you want to see if the Bible's real, we can prove it.
Yes, we can.
Let's all keep commandments. Start following the Sabbath. You know what I'm saying? Start going right. Let's go right back to keeping God's laws, statutes, and commandments. And let's see if the sky crack open. How about that?
Well, they always love to hey, listen. They always love to say trust in the Lord with all thine heart. Don't they love to say that? So let's trust him by keeping the commandments. How about that? Why don't we try that?
The sky will crack open, folks. We know that. Matter of fact, yeah. We know that judgment have to first start with us. All right. Yep. Start at I'm in yeah, start at 17.
17?
Yeah. Let's matter of fact, yeah, start at 17.
Okay. All right. 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 17. For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of God. And if it first began at us, what shall the end be of them? They'll obey not the gospel of God.
And that's why we keep saying you can know that you're Israel all day, every day, all you want. If you're not following Christ in the keeping of the commandments, then knowing Israel means absolutely nothing. I mean, you're just part of people who just have some type of particular set of knowledge. All right. And that's why it's so important for us as a people to come out of the madness. And that only takes being honest with yourself. Come out of the madness, follow Christ. The end. If it wasn't for Christ's mercy, we would be consumed and finished. All right. But you have Christ, we have the mercy, we have the time. It's right now. It's the time to get yourself together. Start making sure you following and understanding the first start of it. Here's the easiest thing. The very first start of it is just start keeping the Sabbaths. If you don't know nothing else, if you just didn't know nothing else, all you had to do is just be like, you know what? I'm going to keep the Lord's Sabbath day.
And keep it with gladness. Like, look forward to it. I mean, you know, we look forward when we greet each other and we see each other on the Lord's Sabbath day. It's with gladness. I'd be like, shalom, you know, Most High Christ bless. We made it to another Sabbath. We saying that. We ain't just saying it's a slogan. We live for the Lord's Sabbath and his feast days. That's supposed to be with gladness.
Yeah, and you have and how you keep the Sabbath, folks, is very simple and easy. And here's where the crazy part about it, for people don't see it. Friday nights to Saturday nights. You go Friday night to Saturday night. No buying, no selling. Do not go to the club and sit there and have drinks. No revel rousing. No going, I'm gonna go over and do. No. You take your time, you study scripts. Keep yourself tucked in, because we know a lot of people that we have told keep the Lord's Sabbath day. They went out on Friday or they went out, Saturday doing things, and chaos broke free, just like the Walmart incident. A lot of folks knew this is the Lord's Sabbath day. They got caught in that Walmart.
Yes, they did.
They got caught in that Walmart. So you have to realize, just in your mind, if you thought, okay, let me keep the Lord's Sabbath day. I'm going to keep this day holy. And don't play both sides of the fence, because, we have some folks doing that. They'll keep the Lord's Sabbath day, but then they'll go to church on Sunday. Spiritual detox, definitely. You got to do that topic again.
I got to do that topic. You got to do that topic again. Spiritual detox, because let's just be honest. Christianity and religion is like a daggone drug, y'all. You have to detox and get all that stuff out your spirit, honestly.
So if you just understand that portion of it, you don't go out, it can save lives. That's why you have people that leave the truth and or the understanding that they had in the truth. And the first sign of it is they start saying you don't have to keep the Sabbath. Watch out. If you hear anybody like that, they trying to change the Sabbath day, they saying you don't have to keep the Sabbath day, run.
Quick.
Get away from them quick. Judgment is falling upon their heads. That's the first sign. The first sign of realizing somebody is leaking is they don't understand the Lord's Sabbath day no more. Oh, the day could be any day. All right. The point is, leave those people alone. The next thing the Sabbath does, you can, understand, hey, I'm not going to cook. I'm not do no servile work or anything.
Scientifically, they're trying to say now it's imperative that at least once a week you shouldn't eat cooked food.
And to give the land a rest.
Right.
If once a week, the land should have a complete rest.
Yes.
Don't touch it at all. It's funny, but they'll watch the scientists and agree with them all day. But the Most High said it, they don't agree with it. Let's read on. Read it again.
1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 17. For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of God. And if it first began at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of God?
That obey not. Don't obey the gospel. What's going to be the end of them who do not do that? Come on.
Verse 18. And if the righteous.
Wait a minute. Excuse me. And if the righteous is a person that's just trying to keep something. Just trying. And if the righteous, come on.
Scarcely be saved.
Scarcely be saved. Scarcely. Come on.
Godly and the sinner appear.
They're going chapter 3 and verse 10.
2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 10. For the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, and the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
Let's go to Nahum chapter 1. We coming right back here, y'all. Nahum chapter 1 and verse 5. Nahum chapter 1 and verse 5. Nahum chapter 1 and verse 5.
Nahum chapter 1 and verse 5. The mountains quake at him.
Come on.
And the hills melt.
The mountains quake at him and the hills melt. So that translates also to the governments and their different factions of their rulers. So if somebody, you might have a job on the Sabbath day. You might have a job that you're working. Your obligation to the Most High, first and foremost, is to supply them with what we call a Sabbath letter. That's all you can do because you're in captivity. You go, okay, I'm going to try to get out of this. Here's a Sabbath letter, sir. I will work any other days other than the Most High Sabbaths. So you have a lot of people that have to work Sundays. You have a lot of people that's like that because they go, we have to trade off something. And the crazy part about it is the way that this system is set up, there's ways around it. You still can work Friday in the daytime before it's dark. Yep. You can work Saturday nights. Yep. If you have a job like that, yep, you can work Saturday nights. The only span that you saying you can't work is from even to even on the Lord's Sabbath day. So it's very easy. Yep. And a lot of you might be new. You send a message to the school page. We can get you a Sabbath letter. Yep. And people are respecting those Sabbath letters because it's written in a way that if you don't honor, it could be brung against them in a lawsuit. I'm going to just say it like that. Read it again.
Nahum chapter 1 and verse 5. The mountains quake at him, and the hills melt, and the earth is burned at his presence, yea, the world and all that dwell therein.
Wait a minute. We just read in 2 Peter, but now you are reading in the Old Testament the same thing. Go back.
2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, and the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
That's what Nahum understood. The earth is burned at his presence. The elements shall melt with fervent heat. So although this man has thermonuclear bombs, you got to understand that's nothing compared to how intensely the heat is going to intensify. The Lord's going to intensify the flames. Why? Because what a lot of people don't understand, there's spirit in the fire. The Lord can command the spirit of the fire. All right? The Lord can command fire, meaning he can maneuver through fire and everything else. All right? It's for another topic. But remember, the angel was able to jump into the fire. And ascend up. And they wanted his name, but his name was secret.
Well, now ask my name. Well, it's secret.
That's somewhere we did the topic before, but I don't know, somebody might find it or something.
Right.
But read on.
Okay. It says, and the earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up.
Shall be burned up. I'm going to believe the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be burned up. All right? Come on.
Verse 11. Seeing then
Come on.
that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons are ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness?
What this is simply saying is, how do we supposed to conduct ourselves, seeing that the Lord is going to melt things, that should not be able to even be melted.
Right.
He's going to melt down to nothing, disintegrate. What kind of conversation you should have? And you got brothers that's supposed to be in this truth. Your mouth is just as foul as a person in the world. Sisters too. You cursing out folks. You doing all kind of stuff. You got to ask yourself a question. And this is what we always say. Yep. If the Lord stand right before us, the things that we're doing, will we be able to do? That's how you gauge. That's your barometer.
Yes, it is.
You just cursing out folks and everything else. I mean, come on, man.
And then on top of that, when you by yourself with nobody looking, how you really carrying it? Because you could be a super duper Israelite in front of us all day, but it's all of how you carrying it outside of the congregation.
Let's read it again.
Okay, the book of 2 Peter, chapter 3 and verse 10. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. Let me go back to verse 11. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons are ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness?
That's why you clean up your mouth. You clean your mind. You clean everything about yourself. You take out of the world. You become now a new creature because you understand every idle word is going to be taken account in a day of judgment. You understand when you go against, every idle word mean you going against this book, the Lord's going to understand you was against this, all right? Till you repent and make your clean slate, start following Christ in the keeping of the commandments. Why? Read the next verse.
Verse 12, looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of God.
Looking for and hastening unto the coming. So somebody going, I'm keeping watch because I know things are getting closer, and we're doing what we're supposed to do. That's why any brother that's pushing truth on this God-forsaken earth, you gotta love them. You're a special person. The Bible is a true book. You believe it, you push that out, and you walk the walk in a certain light, and you must understand how you need to deal with each other as brothers and putting that unity together. This is why that bond, that brotherhood has to be strong. And you can only ask the sisters. Ask any sisters in this truth. They're going to ask any sister in the truth. They're going to be like, just go, hey, what do y'all think as sisters, what you think you need to work on? They're going to be like, unity.
Yep. And you know something, y'all? You know what's funny? I'm glad you said that. Oh, it's funny you say that. Because sisters do say that. But you know what, y'all? This is what y'all have to understand. You got to enjoy being around your other fellow brothers and sisters, because when we out there, this is the thing. We know we go to war as men. We may have our differences. We may, brothers may hash it out. But at the end of the day, we love each other as brothers because we respect each other as men first. Because we out there trying to put in this work.
But what Satan does, as usual, he tap dance on ladies' heads, and they can't get past that emotional wall and that barrier right there. They take the Facebook and social media and they start airing out everything. You're not realizing you're making yourself look crazy anyway. People going, whoa, what's wrong with her today? She's crazy.
Right.
You don't realize it because you just out of your mind. You're a zombie in emotions. Instead of the real fight is to gather yourselves, your emotions, and understand everybody is a unique individual. They think how they think, but that's my little, that's my sister, or that's my,
Right.
love her to death. That's how she thinks. Oh, she's thinking crazy today. Wow. Brothers be standing there. We got the brothers stand up at camp. They might start going in and say, man, this brother reading crazy, man.
Right.
Look how this brother reading today.
Right.
Thus saith the Lord. What? Bruh, pull him down real quick.
Right.
Brothers don't get who getting offended?
Nobody.
Who's gonna get offended? Yo, bro, you need some water, you hoarse, because you brothers in there. Thus saith the Lord. No, bro, come down. No, I got it. I got this.
Right.
Trying to swallow and jump. But you don't see them go back. Man, they pulled me down from reading.
Right.
I was strong in reading, man. I was the strongest one out there, man. The strongest one reading. What brother's doing that?
Nobody. And when I first started reading, they used to clown on me. Man, you reading too doggone soft. I said, I took it as like, okay, cool. It was a challenge. So
voice of many waters, bro. The voice of many waters. You got brothers who had shirts like that.
Right.
I'm the voice of many waters. Bro, that's Christ.
Right.
Stop. Nobody's offended, but for somehow if anything gets you ticked off, you got to realize something. Now somebody's ignorant.
Right.
We're talking about the real Independence Day. It starts in the mind first.
Right.
All right. Then we're getting out of here. We're going to prove it.
That's right.
Then we're getting out of here. But how you going to conduct yourself when you get out of here?
Right.
You can't steal, Sharice from Compton. You know what I'm saying? No.
Right.
So think about it.
Yeah.
All right. Now, read it again.
Okay. 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 12.
A little emotional
Looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of God, wherein the heavens, being on fire.
Whoa. The heavens, meaning the rulerships in this place, all the rulerships, the places that you think that can stand up and withstand the war is going to be on fire. Come on.
Shall be dissolved.
Come on.
And the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
Fervent heat, intense heat. So let me see. Did you fix it? Do you think you got it up? I sent you a message from Bethel. Did that work? I want to play the video. I want to play the video with the bombs. If it works, y'all will see it. They've been so let me rewind a bit. Because a lot of people think they're free. The United States tests nuclear bombs tested nuclear bombs in this country. Number one, they was testing in Nevada. Don't you know clouds, dust, whatever it can. The Most High showed you dust can come from Africa all the way to over here and sweep throughout this place. So you testing these bombs, and then those are nuclear weapons. You're testing it over here. Now we have a alarming rate of cancers. Where do you think this stuff coming from? How's cancer on a rise? How's that possible?
When we were children, many, many years ago, the only time you got cancer, it was very rare. It was an old person disease that was smokers, whatever, stuff like that. But now they say on an average, 1 out of 3 people may deal with that.
Just dealing with cancers. What do you think is happening to this place? All right. They done test bombs and all kind of stuff consistently. Now, what's funny, we was just talking about it earlier. In 1955, the Russians tested their bomb. And then in 1955, the United States was testing their bombs. All right. Let's see if we can play it. Come on. I just want them to see the clips of it.
The Nevada desert in America is the scene of the latest atomic test. International observers come by invitation to join scientists, military and civil defense authorities making a study of the test. A whole town of specially chosen types of buildings with dummies inside them has been erected to study survival chances in an atomic explosion. Called Doomtown, the buildings and their contents will test the effect of the bomb at distances ranging from 1 to 2 miles. The extent to which food will be contaminated by radioactivity will also be studied, along with the effect of blast on communications. Fully protected cameras concealed inside and outside the buildings will take pictures of the blast scenes. The bomb itself is contained in a device at the top of a tower 500 feet high. Tanks move into the blast area, and officers are to occupy trenches only 2,600 yards from the bomb, the closest ever in a test. Night, and Army personnel with recording equipment wait for 0 hour as others check their cameras.
Pause. Who's doing this? Who's doing this? Like, you got to be out of your mind. What people has authorized this? Complete madness. Come on.
And now the bomb, the marvel and the horror of our time, is exploded. Inside the Holocaust, cameras record the havoc.
Come on. Get them out. So, oh boy. Y'all want that? You gotta be crazy. That was just the A-bomb.
That was the A-bomb. That wasn't a hydrogen bomb yet, or the thermal nuke, which is different stages. That's just one stage.
The elements is going to melt with fervent heat. Let's read it again.
Okay.
Let's read it again.
All right. 2 Peter, chapter 3 and verse 12. Looking for, looking for and hasten unto the coming of the day of God, wherein the heavens, being on fire, shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
Come on.
Nevertheless,
that fire, all the stuff. Nevertheless, come on. We. Who's the we? Come on.
According to his promise.
Stop. We according to his promise. I gotta do it.
Okay.
Romans 9. Hold this. We coming back. Romans 9. We got to people that's new. Romans 9. We according to his promise. Who's the we according to his promise? Romans 9 and 4.
The book of Romans, chapter 9 and verse 4. Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of God and the promises. Let's go back. 2 Peter, chapter 3, verse 13. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise.
Come on. Now you know.
Look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness.
So righteousness is going to be established in the kingdom, not wickedness. So the new heavens and the new earth, the rulership, everything's going to go right back to the right way it's supposed to be. That's right. And the order is the righteous Israelites, all right, underneath Christ will be put back in the proper order that it was supposed to be in underneath Adam. For another topic. Now, some people might be thinking that they can survive because when you watch that video, somebody underground may, you know, think they say somebody underground or concrete or lead, they can possibly live. Okay. Give me the other video. Now we're going to show y'all, bear with us, we're going to show y'all a couple clips. Show you this video. No. Yes. Let's go there real quick. All right. Let's see.
Biggest explosions throughout history. It all started with the Big Bang. And in the 13.8 billion years since, there have been some pretty big booms. We've hunted far and wide and found the most massive detonations ever to occur on Earth. Explosions are measured in their equivalent of tons of TNT, trinitrotoluene, not to be confused with dynamite, which is also altogether. So explosions are measured in their equivalent weight of TNT, and oftentimes when a large explosion occurs, they're compared to the explosions caused by Little Boy and Fat Man, the nuclear bombs that were detonated in Hiroshima.
This is how you know it's science and Esau in his complete madness mind state. He starts saying about a Big Bang, but then he's bringing up elements, chemical elements. So are you saying that it was something, some type of chemical elements before the Big Bang, but yet everything's supposed to come from it? That shows you the madness in science, and this shows you also, for you folks that are spiritual, that this is Egypt all over again, because they just try to figure out the Most High at any cost. But now he's going to show you some bombs. Watch this.
Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan in 1945. About 15 and 21 kilotons of TNT respectively. Now, personally, I find this distasteful. It turns the deaths of more than 100,000 people into nothing but a footnote to the power of the bombs themselves. That said, when we discuss the size of these explosions, keep in mind that 15 kilotons of TNT resulted in 80,000 deaths. Anyway, this isn't opinion-holic, it's fact-holic. So let's get them straight. Number 16, Hiroshima. On August 6, 1945, an American B-29 bomber dubbed Enola Gay dropped an atomic bomb on the Japanese city of Hiroshima. The bomb, Little Boy, exploded with the power of 15 kilotons of TNT, immediately killing 80,000 people. Tens of thousands more would later die in radiation exposure.
That's also in the Bible, folks. It's for another topic. It's in the Bible. That was a prophecy. All right. He caused that fire to come down. So pay attention. Come on.
Number 15, Trinity. The world's first nuclear explosion occurred just a few weeks prior to the bombs that the U.S. dropped on Japan on July 16, 1945, when a gadget was near Alamogordo, New Mexico, exploding with the force of roughly 20 kilotons of TNT. While the explosion didn't result in any direct casualties, it did, of course, usher in the age of atomic weapons. Also, it's believed that civilians in New Mexico may have been exposed to thousands of times the recommended level of public radiation.
Pause.
Which couldn't have been good.
So radiation was released in America at the cost of making bombs. You folks that's living there, you have to understand radiation does not dissipate quickly. All right, so there's radiation still there. Come on. Let me say this. See how Las Vegas is up there? In Vegas, folks who's from there, you know that there's those craters, those bomb testing craters are still up there. I've seen them with my own eyes. Come on.
Good for them. Number 14, Nagasaki. On August 9th, 1945, just 3 days after the bombing of Hiroshima, another atomic bomb, the 21-kiloton Fat Man, was dropped on the Japanese city of Nagasaki, instantly killing a further 40,000 people. Again, over time, the number of fatalities increased considerably as the devastating effects of a nuclear fallout were played out for the world to see. Number 13, Tunguska. In June of 1908 in Russia, there was a massive explosion over the Podkamennaya Tunguska River to the tune of 10 to 15 megatons of TNT equivalent, or about 650 to 1,000 times the force of Little Boy. While there's been a number of conspiracy theories as to the cause of the explosion, the scientific community has landed on a meteoroid exploding mid-air as the cause. There was an area of about 2,150 square kilometers.
So they want people to believe that a meteorite that big exploded over the area. Who's doing this? Russia, aka Esau, so-called white man. Once again, come on.
Trees bent away from the hypocenter of the blast. Number 12, Ivy Mike. On November 1st, 1952, the U.S. tested a hydrogen bomb over the Marshall Islands. Ivy Mike had a yield of 10.4 megatons. The detonation was so powerful that it vaporized the island where it was detonated, leaving in its place a 164-foot deep crater. The explosion's mushroom cloud traveled 30 miles into the atmosphere. Number 11, Castle Romeo.
Stop. It vaporized an entire island. Just vaporized it. Okay, come on. We showing y'all this for a reason. Fast forward them. Skip me towards the end. See, give me back up a little bit right there.
TNT, making it 14 times more powerful than Tsar Bomba. The eruption was heard as far away as Sumatra, which is 2,600 kilometers away. The volcano created an ash column 43 kilometers high and dispersed ash into the stratosphere and around the globe. It's estimated that about 10,000 people died directly from the eruption and that 70,000 died from the resulting climate change, as ash blocked out the sun and caused the year 1816 to be the second coldest year in recorded history. Number 1, Cretaceous Tertiary event, also known as...
Back up. Just back up some. Keep going. That's what I wanted. Back up a little bit further. Right there. Yeah.
Inhabitants of the Marshall Islands, and the death by radiation poisoning of a Japanese fisherman who was 80 miles away from the detonation site. Numbers 7, 6, 5, and 4. More Russian numbered tests. Throughout 1962, the USSR conducted a series of nuclear tests over Novaya Zemlya. Test number 173, 174, and 147 all stand out as being the 5th, 4th, and 3rd strongest nuclear blasts in history. All three produced blasts of about 20 megatons, or about 1,000 times as strong as the bomb used on Nagasaki. A bomb of this strength would incinerate everything within 3 square miles. And then on December 24th, 1962, the USSR conducted test number 219 over Novaya Zemlya. The bomb had a yield of 24.2 megatons. It's the second largest nuclear blast ever. Number 3, Tsar Bomba. Tsar Bomba was a hydrogen bomb developed by the Soviet Union and tested on October 30th, 1961. With a yield of 57 megatons, it was the most powerful man-made explosion ever. A village 55 kilometers from the Novaya Zemlya test site was completely leveled. Damage to buildings occurred as far away as Norway and Finland. The explosion created a mushroom cloud 64 kilometers high and a shockwave that was still detectable on its 3rd passage around the Earth.
Third, stop. Third, get them off. shockwave that was still detected around this third passage around the earth. And now, what we just showed y'all, there's now stronger military weaponized nuclear weapons that can level the entire United States. Well, let's read the Bible again. You know the Lord is coming with fire, but they just don't realize it. Matter of fact, let's go to Luke chapter 21, verse 24. We ain't gonna keep y'all too long.
The book of St. Luke, chapter 21 and verse 24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword.
So we getting a little timing here, folks. The Israelites, the remaining Israelites of the southern kingdom of Israel will fall by the edge of the sword. Thus saith the Lord, and it happened. Come on.
And shall be led away captive into all nations.
Those all nations show you that there was be called Gentiles. Therefore, the Lord put out a spiritual hit to the apostles and your famous person you love, Paul, to go to the Gentiles. Not the Gentiles that are non-Israel, not an Israelite, but the Gentiles who are Israelites. All right, Gentiles who are Israelites, go to them. All right, that's why the Lord said this gospel got to be preached throughout the whole earth. Then the end shall come. What does the end mean? The end of what? The end of the existence? The end, meaning the end of this rulership to pass on to the next. Come on.
And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles.
Come on.
Until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
This, you're living it. This is the times of the Gentiles. They're making bombs. So-called white man consistently. Who's doing this? The devil.
Yep.
All right. How you getting? I fast forwarded because, you know, what they like to say is we pushing all kind of things. But in there, you start seeing they start talking about how they making bombs and what they using. We showed it before how they taking plutonium and uranium. All right, 213 and who's sitting down figuring out how can I kill everybody in existence?
Exactly.
Who's doing that? Come on.
Verse 25. And there should be signs in the sun.
Come on.
And in the moon.
And we do have signs in the knowledge. There's signs in the sun and the moon. There's signs by the knowledge. Come on.
And in the stars.
Come on. And by the people, the Israelites. Come on.
And upon the earth distress of nations.
Distress of nations. Why? Because we're scattered, known as different people. Black, Hispanics, Indians, and, you know, Jamaicans, all kinds of things. Haitians, El Salvadorian, African.
Yep.
Come on.
With perplexity.
Come on.
The sea and the waves roaring.
We did a class before to show you the sea and the waves roaring. That's the people. All right, come on.
Men's hearts failing them.
But the Lord is saying when all that confusion come about, men's hearts failing them. Come on.
For fear.
For what?
For fear.
For fear. Come on.
And for looking after those things which are coming on the earth.
Something coming to the earth. You just have no idea. Read.
For the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power.
So the cloud is the chariot, but it's going to be shaken. So this rulership, all of this place is going to be shaken. Thermonuclear destructions already plotted in this book to take place.
Can we show them the power?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, let's go to Isaiah chapter 13, verse 13. We got to show y'all the power. The Bible speaks of stuff to let y'all know we have to have the fear of the Lord on us at all times. Okay?
I got it.
Okay.
Isaiah 13 and verse 13.
Go ahead.
Therefore, I will shake the heavens.
Just like it said here, shake the government, shake the heavens. Go ahead.
And the earth shall remove out of her place.
These bombs are so powerful, the earth going to go off its axis.
In the wrath of the Lord of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger.
The day of his fierce anger, which means these bombs is going to be so intense that the earth is going to shake off of its axis. That's how powerful that these bombs are going to be.
And it shall be as the chase roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people, and flee every one into his own land. You ain't gonna be able to stay over here.
Nope. This place is going to be desolate. This place right here is going to be a wasteland. It's going to be a place for the fowls to be eating up all the corpses. All the stuff that y'all think, that's why we keep telling y'all, Babylon the Great, this place is going to be an inferno. And people forgetting Yellowstone. You forgetting that.
Verse 15. Every one that is found shall be thrust through, and every one that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword.
Because if you are joined to your oppressor, you are joined to the politics, you joined to the ideologies of this place, you're going to be the one who's going to get hit too. That's how we keep telling y'all, you can hold hands with these people all you want. You can get caught up in their ideologies, get caught up in their politics, get caught up in all that foolishness, their religions. The Most High is going to bring that fire, and you're going to get hit.
And they coming down low, y'all. They coming down real. This shows you, verse 16. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished.
And you know who their wives going to be ravished by is the other nations.
Yeah, the Sabians.
Not Israel. See, that's what you brothers need to stop that nonsense. Because why would Israel men want to deal with other nations? We can have our own women. That's what they never understand.
So in the ancient times, the Medes came through. When you read this, the Medes did it. So now, but we know the Bible is a twofold book. So now we know Babylon the Great is going to receive the same punishment. As in the Medes did it in this time, the Sabians is going to do it afterwards. All right? The Lord's going to give them over to the Sabians. So they're going to be, the children of Cush is going to be having their way with them. All right? But this is the Bible. We're reading the Bible. That's why they can't take the scriptures. They can't. All right? So go back to Luke.
Go back to Luke, okay. It says this, St. Luke chapter 21 and verse 26. Men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. For the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. And when these things begin to come to pass.
Remember, you righteous, you saints, remember these words. When you see these things coming to pass, read.
Then look up.
Then do what?
Look up.
Then the Lord said, look up, read.
And lift up your head.
Come on.
For your redemption draweth nigh.
The redemption for we got to get out of here. We're leaving. He said, look up, for your redemption draweth nigh. You're going to see it. Now go to Psalms.
Gotcha.
Psalms 50 and verse 5. Why he say he come in a cloud?
The book of Psalms, chapter 50 and verse 5. Gather my saints together unto me.
That's the Lord saying it. Gather my saints together unto me. Read.
Those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice.
The only thing you have to understand, you have to have your spiritual sacrifices is you following Christ and getting rid of the old man. Stop following the nation. Stop following what they're doing. Stop falling. All right? Understand, get in line. The Lord going to say, gather my saints. The saints are the Israelites. The Lord told you that we were going to be scattered throughout, and then now destruction is going to happen.
Right.
And we know that the destruction is with fervent heat. Fervent heat. All right? And when he say he's gathering his people, remember when you go into the book of Matthew, the Lord going to gather his elect. You can. The Lord going to gather his elect.
And this is for you people out here who don't believe in the Bible, because Christ is telling he's the one who's going to prophesy this, and he's going to live it out.
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
So the timeline thus far, the Israelites are ceased into captivity. The other nations have seen it, did nothing about it. But it was because the Most High was chastising his sons. He put us into hard bondage, removed the hedge. Christ comes. Now that bondage that iniquity should have an end.
Yep.
But the Lord understood, no. You're not going to get around the Most High's words. Distress is finna come. Tribulation. So what happens is now the whole nation as a whole is now ceased into captivity throughout the four corners of the earth. The bulk of the Israelites being in the Americas, the top nation on the earth that's dropping bombs, ran by the so-called white man and all his other European allies. All right, they keep playing this game with Russia, not realizing we know what the game is now. We've seen it. You folks have not been put up on this, but you got to realize something. In order for me to be, if I was a magician, I got to show you my hand, but I got to do something on the other end. So how do they keep this delicate balance of power? It's called America and Russia. Russia, they're running the same. How you can go and give Putin, he going to be president to year 2036 or whatever number it is. How that works? Here in America, they showing you democracy. But he can stay president. Pull that up. Putin presidency. They're showing you things and keeping you ignorant, like you simple. A lot of our people are simple. A lot of the people of the world is simple. But once you start reading this book, you get illuminated. You realize what's happening. Playing both sides of the fence. They're one and the same power. How you testing bombs in 1955? They testing bombs. Then they go, oh, we worried about Russia. No, you're not. You're not worried about them. You know, the one and the same. Yeah, the Russian president. Read on again. Yeah. Yep.
St. Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 29. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon should not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heaven shall be shaken. So
their stars now are going to fall, the satellites, the different things that they have set up. What is it? Space Force?
Yep.
All right. Come on.
And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man.
Come on.
In heaven.
Come on.
And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory.
Come on.
And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet.
Did we just read in Psalms 50? So we going by the precepts. He's going to send his angels with the sound of a great trumpet. What is his angels going to do? Gather the saints. Come on.
And they shall gather together his elect.
Wait a minute, but they're going to gather together the elect. Who's the elect? Isaiah 45. Isaiah 45 and verse 4. So we know the saints is the Israelites. The Lord out of his own mouth is saying he going to gather the Israelites.
Right.
The elect. Come on.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 45 and verse 4. For Jacob my servant's sake, and Israel mine elect.
And Israel mine elect. Come on.
I have even called thee by thy name. I have surnamed thee. though thou hast not known me.
Though you have not known him. The Lord's still working on Israel's behalf. You're not going to change that. So go back to Matthew. He's there. He's telling you who he's gathering. Who are they going to gather?
Mm-hmm. The book of St. Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 31. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other.
The four winds means the wars, because when you go into Revelation 7, the angels is holding back the four winds from coming upon the earth. The war that's going to bring thermonuclear destruction to this place. Okay? And the Lord is the one that's going to, in the midst of this. All right? Matter of fact, let's go there. Zechariah 13. In verse 7.
Let me get to it.
I hope you folks can still hear us, because
The
I don't
book
like
of-
this. They don't like this message.
No, sir. Zechariah, chapter 13 and verse 7. Awake, O sword, against my shepherd, and against the man that is my fellow, saith the Lord of hosts.
Come on.
Smite the shepherd, and the sheep shall be scattered.
That happened. Christ is showing us. He said he was going to be, they was going to smite him, and the sheep was going to be, all right, separated, and you see it today. All right, just like that happened to the apostles. We are all scattered in everything right now, because we're like sheep with no shepherd. You're supposed to follow Christ. On our land, we're supposed to have a government, our language, everything's supposed to be set up for us. But it's not. We're living in the strange land. Come on.
And I will turn mine hand upon the little ones. Verse 8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die.
Wait a minute. So he said, I will turn mine hand upon the little ones. So what that means is we had an end to our iniquity. We had an end to it. But because of the words of the Most High, because of our disobedience, because we do not want to listen, we have to go through this. And it's going to be so climactic that it's not even funny. Come on.
Zechariah, chapter 13 and verse 8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein.
Come on.
Verse 9. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined.
So in order for true independence, for real independence to happen, you have to be brung through the fire. You got to go through that with them bombs that they showed right there. That's reality. You got to go through that.
You think you're going to die.
Now, good news for us. The Lord say, look up, but you got to realize something. The same similitude is shown to us by Daniel. Remember they was put in the furnace? There was another one in the midst of the furnace. All right. So understand, fire means nothing to Christ. All right, because he has control over the elements. You have to pass through it. Read it again for him.
Okay, Zechariah chapter 13, verse 9. And I will bring the third part through the fire.
Come on.
And will refine them as silver is refined. And will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people. And they shall say, the Lord is my God.
God. So at the end of the day, all this stuff is happening, but this is showing you that elect, that number is got to go through the fire. The Lord's going to hear them. All right? Automatically. Go to Ezekiel chapter 20. So after you go through the thermonuclear destruction, do you realize we're leaving out a lot of pieces. We're leaving out that you'll be changed in the twinkling of an eye. You'll have a glorious body. We're leaving that part out, okay? But understand there's all sorts of other details that have to happen in regards to the Lord's return, okay? But we speed it up for you because after going through the fire and you've been gathered, all the saints is gathered, we have to go back to the wilderness. So read it for them.
Ezekiel.
Start at 19.
Okay. Ezekiel chapter 20 and verse 19.
Uh-huh.
I am the Lord your God.
Uh-huh.
Walk in my statutes and keep my judgments and do them.
And do them. That's what we got. That's how we start. And do them. Come on.
And hallow my Sabbaths.
And do what?
And hallow my Sabbaths.
We talked about that. Hallow the Sabbaths. Start there. Come on.
And they shall be a sign between me and you, that ye may know that I am the Lord your God.
You know what's crazy is when you keep the Sabbath, it's real crazy because you start seeing things that you normally never saw before. Like, wow, I would have been in that club right there.
Yep.
Or I would have been out shopping. But because I'm following the Lord, he kept me safe.
That's right.
Come on.
Verse 21, notwithstanding, the children rebelled against me.
Keep rebelling. Come on.
They walked not in my statutes, neither kept my judgments to do them, which if a man do, he shall even live in them. They polluted my Sabbaths. Then I said I would pour out my fury upon them to accomplish my anger against them in the wilderness.
Joab hit it out of the park. He said just when Christ talked to Moses through the burning bush, the bush never was consumed. The fire never consumed.
He got it.
Yeah, the fire never went, and it didn't consume the bush. The tree.
The tree. The tree.
You hear the burning bush, the tree.
Exactly.
The fire not going to consume the tree. All right, for those who really understand. All right, read on.
Verse 22, nevertheless, I withdrew mine hand and wrought for my name's sake that it should not be polluted in the sight of the heathen.
So you don't supposed to pollute in the sight of heathen. That's what we're doing. You say you believe in the Lord, but you're not following anything he says. You are polluting his name among the heathens. People don't even believe in God, really. Come on.
In whose sight I brought them forth.
Come on.
I lifted up mine hand unto them also in the wilderness, that I would scatter them among the heathen.
That's what happened. We're scattered among the heathens. You can't deny that. We was put on slave ships and dropped off in different areas all across the globe. Read.
And disperse them through the countries.
Dispersed. Come on.
We be here all night.
Yeah, I know.
Verse 24. Because they had not executed my judgment, but had despised my statutes, and had polluted my Sabbaths, and their eyes were after their fathers' idols.
The nations. You're after the nations. Come on.
Verse 25. Wherefore I gave them also statutes that were not good, and judgments whereby they should not live.
Come on.
And I polluted them in their own gifts, and that they caused to pass through the fire all that opened up the womb, that I might make them desolate, to the end that they might know that I am the Lord.
So you, even by the time a baby come into this world, you like, what's going on? Is it a crack baby? Is it coming into poverty? What's happening? Even people who have themselves somewhat sort of together, chaos, all right, all around us, because you're not even thinking about taking accountability to understand, well, that child has a heritage. That child has a nationality. It has a lineage. He doesn't know it. Therefore, he acts like a savage. And the same thing with our people, all right, that's of older age. You don't know who you are, you act like a savage. Come on.
Verse 27, therefore, son of man, speak unto the house of Israel, and say unto them.
Is this speaking to everyone?
It says here, therefore, son of man, speak unto the house of Israel, and say unto them.
Come on.
Thus said the Lord God.
Read.
Yet in this your fathers have blasphemed me, and that they have committed a trespass against me. For when I had brought them into the land, for the which I lifted up mine hand to give it to them, then they saw every high hill and all the thick trees, and they offered there their sacrifices, and there they presented the provocation of their offering.
So they looked at how the other nations dealt, and we wanted to be like them. That's all that's being said. Come on.
There also they made their sweet savor, and poured out their drink offerings.
Come on.
Then I said unto them, what is the high place wherein ye go? And the name thereof is called Bamoth unto this day.
Come on.
Wherefore say unto the house of Israel, thus saith the Lord God, are ye polluted after the manner of your fathers, and commit ye whoredom after their abominations? For when ye offer your gifts, when ye make your sons to pass through the fire, ye pollute yourselves with all your idols, even until this day. And shall I be inquired of by you, O house of Israel? As I live, saith the Lord God, I will not be inquired of by you.
You're not. Come on.
And that which cometh into your mind shall not be at all, that ye say, we will be as the heathen.
You want to be like the other nations. Come on.
As the families of the countries to serve wood and stone.
Christianity, Islam, how you want to take it. Wood and stone, idols, to serve their ideologies. Come on.
Verse 33, as I live, saith the Lord God.
Come on.
Surely with a mighty hand, and with a stretched out arm, and with fury poured out, will I rule over you.
Lord's not going to play games with the nation. Come on.
And I will bring you out from the people, and will gather you out of the countries wherein ye are scattered, with a mighty hand, and with a stretched out arm, and with fury poured out.
The mighty hand and the stretched out arm, and with fury poured out. The fury is the fire, the thermonuclear destruction. With fury poured out, he going to bring us out of this place. So yes, we are coming out of here, whether people like it or not. Read.
Verse 35, and I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face.
Ooh. Ain't going to be nobody saying, hey, carry my bones out of here. You ain't hearing none of that, because this is the day of the Lord. Everyone's coming out of this. All right? That elect going to come out. You going back into the wilderness. Come on.
Like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt.
Come on.
So will I plead with you, saith the Lord God.
Just the same way. So Egypt was, if you don't know about Egypt, you need to read it, because it's written for your learning. That's right. So you can know what not to do. Don't complain. Come on.
And I will cause you to pass under the rod.
Come on.
And I will bring you into the bond of the covenant.
Come on.
And I will purge out from among you the rebels.
Purge the rebels. Come on.
And them that trespass against me.
Come on.
And I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourn, and they shall not enter into the land of Israel. And ye shall know that I am the Lord.
The Lord. The book of Acts, chapter 5 and verse 29.
The book of Acts, chapter 5 and verse 29. Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey God rather than men.
Well, you keep playing around.
I know that's right.
Keep trialing after these nations, and you're going to get exactly what they're getting, all right? But if you come back and repent, keep the law, statutes, and commandments in the faith of Christ, follow the Most High in spirit and in truth, you can escape the judgment. You can escape, all right? Lord's willing. Lord's will, tomorrow we back at it again. The crazy madness of 4th of July. Our people are in so many different things. You better tuck in, all right? The Lord is not playing games, and it's getting closer and closer. The day is hastening. It's getting close, all right? Make sure you hit the website, IsraeliteSaintsOfChrist.org. All right?
Join the force.
Yes. Hey, look, just because we closing out, we always say it don't make no difference. All right? Yeah, become a saint. All praises to the Most High in Christ. Y'all continue to send up the prayers, all right, for everyone. Keep sending up the prayers for us.
Yes,
We
sir.
definitely need it.
Yes, sir.
All right? All praises to the Most High in Christ.
Praises.
With that, we say shalom, y'all.
Shalom.